My name is Placencia. I'm 28 years old, and a year ago, the man I loved told me he wished I would disappear forever. So eventually, I did. Evan and I had been together for 4 years. We met in college not long after my parents went through a brutal divorce that left me with trust issues I never tried to hide. I knew I could overthink things. I knew abandonment scared me more than I liked admitting. But I worked on it. Therapy, journaling, learning how to ask questions instead of making accusations. At first, Evan seemed to appreciate that. "You're real," he once told me. "You don't pretend you have everything figured out." I loved him for making vulnerability feel safe, and I showed up for him in every way I knew how. When he lost his job 2 years into our relationship, I picked up extra shifts at my marketing firm and covered most of our rent. When I was offered a promotion that required relocating, Evan begged me not to leave while he tried establishing himself in graphic design. I turned it down. Last Christmas, I bought him a high-end laptop loaded with design software. He cried when he opened it. "You're my rock," he whispered. I didn't know that eventually. Being someone's rock could become another way of saying they found you boring. Over the next several months, Evan changed. Networking events became late nights. Late nights became unanswered texts. His phone stayed face down whenever I entered the room. Sometimes he came home smelling faintly of perfume. Clients hug people, Placencia. Whenever I asked if something was wrong, he became irritated. "Stop being so insecure. Not everything is about you." Then Jade started appearing. A coworker, confident, outgoing. Exactly the kind of woman Evan increasingly implied I wasn't. Her name appeared constantly on his phone under work. Jade. One Friday, Evan told me he was meeting coworkers for drinks. Something felt wrong. I hate admitting this, but I drove by the bar. I had even bought flowers, telling myself I could surprise him and prove my suspicions were ridiculous. He wasn't there. Then I looked through the window of the Italian restaurant across the street. Evan was sitting with Jade, not across from her, beside her. Their hands were intertwined on the table. I stood outside holding those flowers while she leaned in and kissed him. My entire body went cold. I didn't storm inside. I didn't scream. I waited. Then I drove home. Evan returned later, casually scrolling through his phone. I was standing in the living room with the crushed flowers still in my hand. "I saw you with Jade." He looked up. Not guilty. Annoyed. "Oh my God. Placencia, you followed me? You kissed her." He sighed like I was exhausting him. "This is exactly what I mean. Your insecurities are suffocating." I stared at him. "You were on a date with another woman." "Jade gets me." His voice hardened. "She's confident, ambitious. She doesn't question everything." "How long?" He crossed his arms. "We've been talking for months. And kissing." He looked away. That was enough. Then he said something I will never forget. "Sometimes I wish you'd just disappear forever. I'm so tired of your insecurities dragging me down." Disappear. After 4 years. After everything I had sacrificed. I nodded slowly. "If that's how you feel." Evan kept going. "Jade makes me feel alive. You're safe, Placencia. But safe is boring." That night, I slept on the couch. The next morning, he packed a bag. "I'm staying somewhere else for a while." "With Jade?" He laughed coldly. "I've emotionally checked out for ages. Honestly, your paranoia made it easy." He blamed my questions for his cheating, my childhood wounds for his dishonesty, my loyalty for his boredom. "You'll find someone as average as you," he said before leaving. I didn't cry in front of him. I just opened the door. "Okay." He looked almost disappointed. "No begging? If you want to go, go." After he left, I called a locksmith, changed every lock, blocked his number, deleted our shared accounts, gave notice on the apartment and rented a cheap studio across town. No revenge posts, no confrontation with Jade, no goodbye speech. Evan had said he wanted me to disappear, so I disappeared completely. For the first month, he never contacted me. That hurt. But 2 months later, while I was finally beginning to rebuild, I learned something unexpected. The exciting woman he chose over me was already beginning to treat him exactly the way he had treated me. The first month after Evan left was brutal in ways I hadn't expected. I thought the hardest part would be missing him. It wasn't. The hardest part was doubting myself. Every morning, I woke up in that tiny studio apartment and replayed his words. Too insecure. Too average. Too safe. I would lie there wondering if maybe I really had pushed him away. Maybe asking questions too often had made him feel trapped. Maybe my childhood baggage had turned me into someone impossible to love. Therapy pulled me out of that spiral. My counselor listened while I explained everything: the affair, Jade, the lies, the way Evan blamed my trust issues for his choices. Then she said something that changed how I saw the entire relationship. Your insecurity didn't create his dishonesty. His dishonesty made your insecurity louder. I sat with that for a long time, because she was right. I hadn't imagined the late nights. I hadn't imagined the perfume. I hadn't imagined him kissing another woman. My instincts weren't the betrayal. His actions were. So I started rebuilding. Slowly. Gym every morning before work. Therapy twice a week. Journaling at night when my thoughts got too loud. And finally, I accepted the promotion I had once turned down for Evan. More hours. More responsibility. More money. For the first time in years, my decisions were about my future, instead of protecting someone else's comfort. I led a small marketing team and threw myself into a major campaign. My boss noticed. You seem different lately. I smiled. I stopped waiting for permission. 2 months after the breakup, I moved into a slightly better studio. Still small, still simple, but it had big windows and enough room for a desk by the wall. No reminders of Evan. No second toothbrush. No drawer filled with someone else's clothes. Just mine. Then the updates started leaking through mutual friends. I never asked. People told me anyway. At first, Evan and Jade looked perfect online. Trips, bars, couple selfies, captions about finally choosing happiness. Then somewhere around month 3, the posts slowed down. Sarah, one of our mutual friends, called me one evening. Placencia, I don't know if you want to hear this. You're probably going to tell me anyway. She sighed. Evan and Jade are imploding. I stayed quiet. Apparently, Evan had stopped aggressively looking for steady work because Jade convinced him they could build something together. She promised her freelance design income would carry them. Instead, they moved into an apartment they could barely afford. Credit cards covered restaurants, trips, and the kind of lifestyle Evan used to accuse me of being too cautious to enjoy. Then Jade started cheating. The first time, Evan found messages from another man. She said it was harmless. He stayed. Then there was another guy, from a networking event. Then someone from a bar. Evan started checking her phone, questioning where she was, asking why she came home late. The same behaviors he once called suffocating when they came from me. Sarah said Jade would roll her eyes and tell him, "Stop being so insecure." I almost laughed. Almost. Then things got worse. Jade became controlling and verbally cruel. Whenever Evan questioned her, she told him he was needy, clingy, weak. Apparently, she even said, "You're acting just like Placentia." That sentence traveled back to me through 2 different people. I didn't know whether to find it funny or sad. Then Jade's work situation collapsed. She had been neglecting deadlines and exaggerating project progress to clients. Contracts dried up. Money disappeared. Bills piled up. And one night, after another argument, Jade packed a bag and left. No warning. No discussion. She ghosted him. Exactly the way Evan once wished I would disappear. By then, Evan had debt from their shared expenses and nowhere stable to go. He ended up sleeping on his sister's couch. His friends started distancing themselves too, especially after the full story about our breakup became public. People who originally believed his version, that I was jealous and paranoid, finally learned he had been cheating with Jade for months. One mutual friend texted me. We had no idea. Sorry we believed him. I didn't respond. I wasn't interested in rewriting history for people who hadn't bothered asking me before judging it. My own life kept moving. I hit personal records at the gym, finished the campaign successfully, got a raise, started going out occasionally with coworkers again. Nothing serious, just proof that connection could exist without fear. Then, about 4 months after Evan left, my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. Hey, it's Evan. I stared at it. Another message appeared. Can we talk? I miss our conversations. I deleted both. A voicemail came the next day. Placencia, things with Jade didn't work out. She cheated on me. I was wrong about a lot. You were always stable and kind. Please call. Stable. Suddenly, the thing he had insulted sounded valuable again. Then his mother called. Placencia, Evan is in a very bad place. He needs someone who knows him. That person isn't me anymore. You two were together 4 years. And he chose someone else. She sighed. Don't be stubborn. I hung up. For the first time, his family's guilt didn't work. Evan had once said safe was boring. Now safe was gone, and he was beginning to understand what that actually cost him. Evan's first message came from an unknown number. Placentia, it's me. Can we talk? I miss what we had. I stared at it for maybe 10 seconds, then blocked it. The next attempt was a voicemail. Things with Jade didn't work out. She cheated on me. More than once. I was stupid. You were always stable and kind. Please call me. I need to explain. Stable. Months earlier, that word had meant boring. Now that his exciting new relationship had collapsed, stability suddenly sounded precious. I deleted the voicemail. Then came emails. Long ones. I see now how unfairly I compared you to Jade. I know I manipulated you. I was chasing something that wasn't real. I lost the apartment. I don't have steady work. I know I don't deserve anything, but can we please have coffee? I never replied. My silence apparently convinced Evan that the problem wasn't what he had done. The problem was that I wasn't giving him access to explain it. Then his mother called. I answered because I didn't recognize the number. Placencia, honey, it's Mrs. Thompson. My stomach tightened. Evan is in a terrible place. I'm sorry to hear that. He's barely sleeping. He's broke. Jade treated him horribly. I waited. You two were good together, she continued. Don't be stubborn. He needs you. There it was. Needs. Not loves. Not respects. Needs. Mrs. Thompson, Evan's situation isn't my responsibility anymore. He made one mistake. He had a relationship with another woman and blamed me for discovering it. Jade manipulated him. He still chose her. She sighed sharply. Sometimes being mature means forgiving people. I have forgiven him enough to leave him alone. Then I hung up. A week later, one of Evan's friends messaged me. His name was Mason, and he had never particularly liked me when Evan and I were together. Placencia, Evan's wrecked. He talks about you constantly. Give the guy another chance. He's changed. I deleted it. Then another message arrived from Evan. Please. I know what I said. I know I told you to disappear. I didn't mean forever. That almost made me laugh. He hadn't expected me to take him seriously. That was the recurring theme of our relationship. His words were supposed to matter only when they benefited him. By month 6, I had stopped thinking about Evan most days. Work was going well. My promotion had become permanent. I had enough money to upgrade my apartment, and therapy was helping me separate real self-awareness from the insecurity Evan had weaponized against me. Then one evening, I was at the gym finishing a set when someone said my name. Placencia. I knew the voice before I turned around. Evan stood a few feet away. He looked rough. Messy hair. Red eyes. Clothes hanging looser than I remembered. Why are you here? I've been trying to reach you. That should have told you something. His eyes filled immediately. Please, just hear me out. I put the dumbbell down. You have 2 minutes. He swallowed. Jade cheated on me. I know. She lied constantly. She controlled everything. Then she left me with debt. I said nothing. I quit looking for work because she promised we'd build something together. Now I'm sleeping on my sister's couch. His voice cracked. I see everything differently now. Do you? Yes. He stepped closer. You were the best thing in my life. All those things I called insecurities. You were just trying to protect what we had. I almost admired the revision. My insecurity had been unbearable when he wanted Jade. Now it was proof of love because he wanted me back. Can we try again? He whispered. No. His face fell. Placentia, please. No. He reached for my arm. I stepped away. I said terrible things. I was confused. You weren't confused when you kissed Jade. I was unhappy. So was I. I didn't cheat. His desperation turned sharper. You're really going to punish me forever? I'm not punishing you. Then why are you being so heartless? People nearby had started looking over. I kept my voice low. You told me you wished I would disappear forever. His mouth opened. I continued. I respected your request. That's cruel. No. What was cruel was making me question my sanity while you were sleeping with someone else. His expression hardened. So you're perfect now? No. I picked up my water bottle. I'm just no longer yours. I started walking away. Behind me, Evan called. After 4 years, that's all I get? I turned once. You got 4 years. Then I left. His friends sent angry messages afterward. Cold. Petty. Heartless. I blocked them too. And that was when I finally understood the power shift. Evan wasn't hurting because I had disappeared. He was hurting because he had believed I would always be there whenever he decided to come back. 8 months after the breakup, our mutual friend Sarah invited me to her wedding. I almost declined. Then I learned Evan would be there. And this time, I decided I wasn't disappearing for him anymore. 8 months after Evan walked out of our apartment for Jade, our mutual friend Sarah got married. I almost skipped the wedding. Not because I was afraid of seeing Evan. At least, that was what I told myself. The truth was simpler. I had spent months building a life where he barely existed, and I didn't want one crowded reception dragging me backward. Sarah called me personally. You have to come. I heard Evan might be there. So? I laughed. So that sounds potentially exhausting. Placencia, you disappeared once because he told you to. Don't disappear from everyone else because of him. That landed. So I went. And I didn't go alone. His name was Liam. We had met through work a few months earlier. He was kind without making a performance out of it. He listened. He communicated. If something bothered him, he said it rather than disappearing for 6 hours and blaming me for noticing. We had only recently started calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. Nothing rushed, nothing chaotic. Just good. The wedding was held at a garden venue outside the city. String lights hung between trees. Music drifted across the lawn, and everyone looked unusually happy. Liam glanced at me as we entered. You okay? Yes. Then I saw Evan. He was sitting alone near the edge of the reception area. He looked thinner, tired. His suit was slightly wrinkled, his expression guarded. For 1 second, the old version of me surfaced. The woman who would have immediately checked whether he was okay. Then Liam slipped his hand into mine. The instinct passed. We congratulated Sarah, spoke with friends, and found our table. For most of the reception, Evan kept his distance. Then Liam went to get us drinks. That was when Evan approached. Placencia. I looked up. Evan. His voice was quiet. Can we talk? Here is fine. He glanced around nervously. I'd rather do it privately. I wouldn't. That stopped him. He pulled out the chair opposite me. Jade's gone. I know. She cheated on me. A lot more than I realized. I said nothing. She destroyed everything. No, Evan. His eyes lifted. She made choices. So did you. He swallowed. I'm in therapy now. That's good. I'm trying to understand why I did everything I did. Again, I waited. I blamed you for being insecure when really I was giving you reasons not to trust me. That was probably the most honest thing he had ever said. I was cruel. Yes. His eyes filled. I wish I could take it back. You can't. I know. He leaned closer. But maybe we could start again. No. The answer came easily. His face collapsed. Placencia, please. I lost my job. Jade left me with debt. Half my friends don't speak to me anymore. I know what I lost now. There it was. What he lost. Not what he had done. You wished I would disappear forever. I was angry. You said I was average. I was stupid. You blamed your cheating on my childhood trauma. I know. And when I finally disappeared, you were fine until Jade stopped being exciting. He looked down. I deserve another chance. No. His desperation sharpened. Don't you care at all? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Then I realized the answer didn't hurt anymore. I don't. His eyes widened. You seriously feel nothing? Not nothing. I looked at him calmly. I'm grateful. For what? For making me leave. He stared. Because if you hadn't treated me badly enough, I might still be trying to convince you I was worth loving. That was when Liam returned carrying 2 drinks. I stood. Evan. This is Liam. My boyfriend. The word hit visibly. Evan looked from him to me. Liam gave him a polite nod. Hey. Evan forced a smile. So you replaced me? No. I took my drink. I moved on. His jaw tightened. You'll regret this. I almost smiled. 8 months earlier, that sentence would have terrified me. Now it sounded empty. You already told me to disappear. I took Liam's hand. Consider it done. Evan walked away. Later, Sarah told me he left early. I didn't ask where he went. That night, Liam and I danced under the string lights while people laughed around us. And for the first time, I understood that healing wasn't winning. It wasn't Evan suffering. It wasn't Jade betraying him. It wasn't watching him beg. Healing was realizing his life had become irrelevant to mine. He once called me insecure because I questioned betrayal happening directly in front of me. Now I knew better. I wasn't broken. I had simply been loyal to someone who benefited from making me doubt myself. Evan wanted me to disappear. So I disappeared from the version of my life where his opinion mattered. And I never went back.